Hi, hello, how are you? Good morning, happy Tuesday. It is gloomy and rainy here. Oh, I don't know why I still have my headphones in. I was just talking to my sister, showing her all the sweaters that I just got from Shein. This is one of them. I love how like grandpa-ish this feels. I've been feeling really frumpy. I think part of it is like getting off of birth control and having to deal with my hormones like being all out of whack. But I've also been working from home for 2.5 years now, since March of 2020 to now, so to 2021, 4 years. That's how long I've been working from home, longer than I was ever in the office. And I just feel like my wardrobe very much reflects that I work from home and I'm home all the time. So sometimes when Skylar and I go out to dinner, I'm like, I don't know what to wear. So I just got some nice sweaters and stuff because it's still cold. This one I just really love. I got some just like blank crew neck ones. I don't know if I'm gonna put designs on them or not, or just leave them blank. And then some really cute like cardigans. And I just feel like that's gonna help me. The sun is also supposed to start setting at 6 o'clock as of tomorrow, which will be nice. But because it's gloomy here, I don't feel like we're really feeling that right now. So I'm just not feeling my best. I'm feeling super tired. My mom reminded me that before I started taking birth control, I used to have to take iron pills because I'm iron deficient, and that was kind of like fixed with taking birth control. But before I started, I was taking iron pills to help with my fatigue. So I'm going to go to Target during my lunch to pick some of those up and start taking and see if that helps, because yesterday when I finished work, I sat down on the couch and I just laid my head back because like it hurts on the back from my TMJ, and I leaned it back and I woke up 45 minutes later, which was definitely unplanned. It's not a big deal because I'm home by myself after work anyways, but it just isn't what I want to do. So reading wise, I am currently reading Seasons of Chaos by Cosimano, I think is what it is. It is not a Jack Frost spin-off, but that is the premise of the books, is that each season is controlled in a specific area by a person who is called a season. So our main character, Jack Summers, is a winter. He died similar to Jack Frost. He was like in a boarding school and they were crossing this lake and he fell in and he died. And he becomes a winter. So that's where I say it's the similarities to the Jack Frost story. That's what happens to him. And so that's how all of these people become seasons. They die and they are given a second chance, which I think is really interesting. And in this one, they have like overthrown their government, which was keeping them separated and their powers limited. And the people that they helped overthrow the government and take over for Kronos, Father Time, and Gaia, Mother of Nature, they are killed by this guy Douglas, who used to be like a really big follower and supporter of the previous Kronos, Michael, who was killed by Daniel Lyon, the guy who was Kronos at the beginning of this book. But now Douglas is Kronos, and he is just having a lot of trouble. He's trying to round up all of the seasons that were freed, recondition them, and get everything back to the way it was before. But he's struggling with Gaia's magic. He is a summer, and so he's not necessarily super compatible with spring magic, which is what Gaia's is. And so he kidnaps Fleur. She was our main love interest in the first book, and she's teaching him and trying to also like escape and buy some time, but she is able to inadvertently teach him, and she decides she's going to steal Gaia's magic, and he realizes that, and they're fighting over it, and their magic becomes intertwined. And now if one of them gets hurt, it affects the other. Even if like they cut themselves, her hand will start to bleed if his does. So their magic is intertwined. The theory behind it is that it's because it's Gaia's magic that is holding her to him to stabilize it. My prediction is that she will be the new Gaia and Jack will be the new Kronos at the end of this book. It's a little not lackluster, but it is not the same type of fantasy that the previous books that I was reading, A Curse for True Love and the Crescent City books. It is a different type of fantasy. It's a lot more serious. There's no romance in it, but it's still really good. I read like 102 pages last night, so I'm on 303 and there's 451, so I have about 150 pages left. I'm gonna try and listen to it throughout the day and hopefully finish it before I end work so that I can start One for My Enemy tonight and make good progress in that. I really want to finish all of these books by the end of the month, but it's the 27th and there are 2 more days left. That might not be possible, but I'm at least going to try, and I don't have any more graphic novels that are unread for me to read, unless I want to reread something. So we shall see how this end of the week goes, but I will update you when I have finished Seasons of Chaos. Good morning, happy Wednesday. I have a meeting at 9 and then a meeting later, but I just wanted to come on really quickly and update you. First, I got this really cute sweater from Shein. I know people say don't shop at Shein, but unless you're gonna give me money to buy stuff at other places, keep it to yourself. But I got a bunch of really cute sweaters. This was one of them. I have like a checkered one that I tried on, and it's not loose. The like ribbing at the bottom, the end of the sweater is more cinched in, so it looks a little bit more bulky on me than I would like, so that might be one that I returned, but I really love this one. I think it is so cute. It does have some like strings coming out right here though, and I'm kind of worried about the sweater unraveling, so I might return it or exchange it and ask for another one, but I'm wearing it for today anyways. Reading wise, I did finish Seasons of Chaos last night. I finished it around like 5:30. I did enjoy it. I gave it a 4 stars on Goodreads, but it's really more of like a 3.5. Not necessarily a 3, but it didn't feel like a 4. So for me, 3 is good, 4 is really good or like really great, and 5 is amazing. And I don't know. Again, I think because it's not the same type of fantasy that I have been reading in the past few weeks, it just wasn't hitting for me. It felt a little bit lackluster, like it was just missing something. I don't really know what that was. Our characters do defeat Doug. Jack becomes Kronos, that's what I was expecting. Fleur becomes Gaia. Kai becomes Inevitability. I can't remember what that person's name was at the moment. And they're able to kind of put everything back together. Some of the people that were siding with Doug realize that he truly doesn't care about any of them. He cares about his own power, so they help Jack defeat him. I like did and didn't like Doug. It seemed like he really was trying to just fix things, but at the same time he did only care about himself, and he was making things worse. So I don't have a ton of thoughts on it. I finished it, and I started One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I thought I had an audiobook for this, and I don't. It is available on Audible, but it's not included in the subscription, which is frustrating. I thought that it was, but I started reading it last night. I only got through 24 pages, and it was like I could just not make my brain connect properly to the words. Oh look, I burned myself. And then I scratched off a chunk of it on my purse yesterday and then on the couch, so it looks super gross, but I couldn't make my brain understand the words. I might honestly have to restart. No, I do know that it's potentially about 2 warring families. The Antonovs And, oh, who's the other one? Oh, the Fedorovs. So the Fedorovs are a bunch of sons, and the Antonovas are a bunch of daughters. They're witches. They've kind of like staked out their own empires. They don't really mess with each other, but one of the Fedorovas brothers is like dabbling or stealing some of the stuff that the Antonovas produce, and the oldest sister confronts them. I think she kills the oldest brother. She makes him take one of the like tablets, like she says it's like a pleasure tablet, and she starts talking about how it's got all these security measures that if somebody were to ever take it and want to like use it without their permission, it's got security measures that would harm them. And so he's like writhing on the floor, and I think that he dies. It's not explicitly said. And then it like switches to her family's perspective, to the sister who is like in college, and she has to stay late for like a school assignment, and they're like, oh, don't tell mom. Like, so I think her being in college is kind of against the family way. That's just my assumption, but I only read a few pages last night. This might be the only book that I finish, or the last book that I finish this month. And then I'm going to start March with Blackout and just count it as my February TBR. It's still part of my February TBR. I just didn't necessarily finish it in February. But I don't want to mess up my spread. So I'll just check it off from February, and hopefully it'll only take me like a day or two, and I'll have the rest of March to read my 5 books. But 7 books this month, 6 so far. Hopefully finishing this one is really good for me, and I am super proud of the fact that I'm like 6 books ahead on my Goodreads challenge, and hopefully just really powering through these first few months will help me when I inevitably fall off the wagon and have a month in like June or July where I don't read at all, because it happens every year. So I'm gonna go. My meeting starts in 4 minutes, and I will update you later. Good morning, happy Thursday. It is super gloomy outside. Normally I love this weather, but I mentioned before it has been affecting my mood a little bit. It is nice that the sun isn't setting until like 6 o'clock. So after work yesterday, I went on a walk. I'm trying to hit 5,000 steps every single day, which is probably really low for some people, but working from home, I just don't walk a ton. I'm on the couch working, or I'm here on my desk working. So I've been trying to go on walks at 10 when I have my 15-minute break. And then yesterday I went after work to hit 5,000. I've been able to do it for the last few days. And I don't know if I'm going to go today. It just looks like I might get caught in some rain when I'm out. Maybe I'll just put my like rain jacket on and go anyways. But it's really gloomy here. This is another one of my new sweaters. I got just some blank ones also. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. My Coraline sweater is on its last leg. I also have one that was supposed to be a Halloween Town sweater, and that is just the pumpkin. They're just really stretched out. They don't really like form back up when I wash and dry them anymore, so it might be time to get rid of them. But reading update, I might not be able to finish this month. I feel like I'm out of steam as far as reading goes. It's the 29th now, and I'm only 104 pages in. So I still have 300 pages to go. I really don't think that I'm going to finish this tonight. I might. Skylar mentioned picking up an extra shift tonight, but I still don't think that I'll be able to finish 300 pages, so we shall see. I'm enjoying it. It's a little interesting. We've now shifted to focus on Lev and Sasha. They are the youngest siblings in both of the Fedorov and Antonova families. They kind of meet by chance at a bar. Lev is there because his brother Roman wants to get vengeance on the Antonovas for harming Dimitri. So he's like, we need to find out who they are supplying drugs to. I have a theory that it wasn't Dimitri who was sneaking around and stealing the Antonova's drugs, whatever it is that they're selling. I think that it was Roman. He is the middle son. He should be the actual heir. You find out that Dimitri, although he is the oldest, considered the oldest, is not actually Lazar's son. Roman is, and so for a family that prides itself so much on like its heritage and bloodline and stuff, I can see where Roman is probably trying to make a play and show his father that he should be the rightful heir. So he's trying to get Lev to go to this bar, stake it out, see if he can hear anything about these college students that frequent it. It's right by the university. If he can get any information from them on where these drugs are coming from. And while Lev is there, he sees this girl who is kind of being harassed by a guy, and she's like, I don't want to drink anymore, I want to leave. And he's like, not my business, not my business, not my business. And they keep going on. He finally turns and he's like, dude, leave her alone. And she's like, I can take care of myself. And they keep arguing and they leave. And then he overhears these other two people saying like, oh, did you see where Sasha went? Like, oh, I think she went with Eric. And the guy's like, she's definitely not into it. And the other one is like, he's gonna go for it, like he's gonna try, maybe she's into that. And he's just like, fuck. And so he gets up and he follows her out because clearly nobody else is concerned about her. And he stops him and he's like, dude, she said she like doesn't want to have anything else to drink, she doesn't want anything to do with you. And she says, I don't need your help. And she turns around and punches the other guy in the face. And that guy, Eric, takes off and they're just kind of left together. And there's, I don't know, I didn't feel like there was a ton of tension between them, but they do end up kissing. I mean, there is tension towards the end, right before they kiss, but it just seemed really quick, out of nowhere, that all of a sudden they're kissing. And they exchange numbers, and she leaves. She goes to like the train station. He was walking her there just because it's late and he was kind of concerned about her. And then he looks at her phone and he sees that the name she input was Sasha Antonova. So he knows who she is, but he doesn't know who she is. And he like visits her at her family shop a couple of times, and her brother is like, are you not getting information out of her? You're texting all day. And the texts between them are really cute. I guess I just wasn't expecting Lev's character to be the way that he is. The family comes off as very like machismo, powerful, and he is like double, triple, quadruple texting her, which is cute, but it comes off a little bit needy to me. But it's supposed to be playful. That just wasn't where I was seeing his character going. So I'm enjoying it, but I'm not really enough in to have an opinion. So I'm going to read tonight. I don't have a ton to do. I do have a meeting later today. But I'm going to crochet and probably read throughout the day and then tonight. But I'm not going to push myself to finish this today just because I feel like I've rushed through every book that I've read this month. And just want to enjoy this one. So I'm going to go and I will update you later. Good morning. Happy Monday. I didn't really do any reading this weekend. I read yesterday, so I'm still reading One for My Enemy. I was supposed to finish this Friday and then read Blackout. So I was supposed to finish this Saturday and read Blackout yesterday and today, but that just didn't happen. Again, I have difficulty reading on the weekends, and I've been working on a crochet project that I'm nearly done with, like a cropped cardigan, and I'm putting all the like squares together now and have just been working on that. And then Drive to Survive came out. That's the Formula One documentary, and my husband and I were watching that, like binge watching it all weekend, and we finished it. So I just didn't do a ton of reading, but I'm 170 pages into one for my enemy. It's getting interesting. It's kind of like a Romeo Juliet story, and our like love interests, Lev, Fedorov, and Sasha Antonova. Spoilers, if you haven't read this, skip ahead. But they slept together. Lev finally, like, so her sister dies. She's killed by Roma, who is Lev's older brother, in revenge for Baba Yaga, which is like the name that Mayra's oldest sister her mom goes by. Like years ago, she turned down Koschei, which is the Fedorov's, like the son's dad. And Roma has been holding on to it for like all of this time. And then when she turned down their father, he forced Dima and Mayra to break up. They both had to choose sides, their own families. And then she got engaged to another man, and Roma saw that also as a slight. So for years, he's been planning taking them down over these two kind of insignificant things, which is why he was the one that was stealing the drugs. And then when Mayra comes to take Dima out of the coma that he's in, he stabs her. And he's just in all sorts of a mess trying to take them down. And the night that she dies, Sasha texts Lev and says, so his name is Leova, which is the lion, but he goes by Lev. But she texts him and says, my sister's dead, and he says, I'm coming. And he goes to her, and they kind of like apparate like the way that wizards do in Harry Potter. He takes her back to his room, and she just wants like a distraction. She's like, don't be a gentleman tonight. I just need like a comfort and a distraction. And he wants it, but he feels guilty that she doesn't know who he really is. So he does reveal it to her, and she is upset at first, but she says we'll be enemies in the morning, essentially. And so it like, they sleep together. Roma finds out. He feels betrayed, and he says, you need to figure out where your loyalties lie. I don't feel like Dima is any help. He's like, you have to decide what's best for you. You know, do you want to be family above all? Or, you know, what good is our family if we're all dead? You know, make the right choice. And I'm like, you are not helping Lev in his situation at all. Just give him a little bit of guidance. And Sasha goes to meet with this informant that her sister used to meet with, and she is going to set Roma up. She doesn't know which brother it is. She's hoping it's not Lev, but they're doing like a drug deal, and she knows that if she gives the informant the details, he will pass them on. He's kind of like playing both sides, seeing which party will win. So he passes the details on to Roma, but I don't know if it's going to be Roma who goes to the drop, or if Roma is going to send Lev, and that's going to make Sasha think that he was the one who killed her sister. So it's getting interesting. I just haven't done a ton of reading this weekend. I don't think that I can finish it today. There's 404 pages, so I have like 250 to read. But hopefully tomorrow, and then I'm just going to start my March TBR. And if I finish early, I will add Blackout to the end. So, but I don't think that's going to happen because I have Elantris and Nevernight on my TBR for March. And those are both books that I have struggled with reading several times before. So we'll see how it goes. But I will update you when I have finished, hopefully when I have finished one for my enemy. Good morning. Happy Thursday. I am really tired. I've been going to the gym this week. I went a little bit last week, just feeling really frumpy, and going to the gym has been helping. So I'm so tired. My legs hurt, and I really need like a long nap. If there's a lot of cuts in this, it's because I can't stop yawning. But I did finish One for My Enemy last night by Olivia Blake. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's, I think I mentioned this, like a Romeo Juliet, not retelling, but like esque story, with Sasha and Lev, who are in love with each other, and they're from different families who are competing. And once upon a time, their older siblings, Maria and Dmitri, were in love, and they had to separate because of the feud between their parents. And they're they band together in the end, Maria and Dmitri, to take down their parents. They don't really see, at least Maria doesn't see a future for herself past taking down her parents. So that's like the big, so they do like the traditional Romeo and Juliet thing where she kills herself and Dmitri kills himself to be with her. He tells her, "I would never let you go alone," which was so heartbreaking. But they do it to give their siblings a chance, Lev and Sasha, a chance to be together, because in the current world that they had been living in, that wasn't going to happen for them. So Lev and Sasha are together in the end. Baba Yaga, who was the female witch, and Koschei, who was the like male witch, they are gone, not gone, but their reputations have been taken down. They've been exposed for a ton of the wrongdoings that they've been doing, and their like empires have been forever changed. So it's their siblings who are now going to be running these things, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy Olivia Blake's writing style, but sometimes it can be a bit much. There's too much filler and fluff, and it's like this 8-sentence long paragraph could have maybe been like 3 or 4, but she'll say a sentence one way and then just reiterate it in 3 more sentences in a very florally way, which again sometimes I do like and feels like adds to the story, and other times I'm like, I just want to get to the dialogue, please. So I finished that. That's my first book of this month. I am behind and not behind. So I was supposed to start Book of Night by Holly Black on the 5th, and it's the 7th now. But I put in a little bit of a buffer because I kind of had a feeling that this was going to happen. I expected to finish Blackout, but didn't. I'm going to move this to the end of the month, and if I can finish everything else, then I will get to this. But I've already tried to read Book of Night once, and I am halfway through. I am on page like 159, and I built in the buffer as if I was going to start from the beginning, but really I'm starting from the middle. So yesterday I was supposed to get to page 166, and I'd already read to page 155, so I'm still technically caught up, and I just need to read to 249 tonight, and I will be on track. So that is the plan. This is about like a girl who has magic, which isn't, it's rare, and there are a lot of like supplemental things that you can do to make it seem like you have magic, but hers is actual magic, and she's used it a lot to be a criminal, to steal and heist things. I feel like I might be getting this completely wrong because it has been a while, but she's decided no more, and it's like a one last job sort of thing to secure her future. She wants better for her sister. She's met a man who is a really good man, and she just doesn't want to live this life anymore. So that's what I'm going to be reading next. I'm going to end this here though, so thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know how your February was. We're 8 days into March, which is wild to me, but my February was good. A little rocky because, like I mentioned, I'm off birth control for the first time in 10 years and my emotions have been everywhere, but still a good month. Looking forward to spring a little bit, and just a little bit more sun. I normally really love the gloom, but I'm getting a little sick of it. There's not enough like sun interspersed in the middle, so hopefully we get a little bit more of that, just a couple sunny days here and there, so I can go on a walk and feel a little bit better. So Thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!